is the cellular respiration, the way that we acquire our energy from the food that we eat. The Krebs cycle involves the conversion of substance in the presence of oxygen. Hans Adolf Krebs, in 1953, measured the amount of carbon acids in the pigeon liver and the breast muscle when the sugars are completely outside to yield carbon dioxide, water, and ADP as the byproduct of the source of our energy. But what do plants do? The plants get their energy directly from the source, the sun. The sun, with the water and the CO2 that is plenty in our environment, produce glucose. This process is called photosynthesis. We can say that the plants are the foundation of the entire food chain. We can see in this example that the insect eats the plant obtaining its energy. The koala eats the insect and the tiger the koala. With this, we can conclude that the tiger obtained the energy of the plant previously took by the insect.
Let's learn how photosynthesis works. It consists in two stages. The light reactions, where the solar energy transforms to chemical energy, and the Calvin cycle, where that chemical energy produces glucose. Both stages occur inside chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are organelles found in plant cells, which are surrounded by a fluid called stroma. Within thylakoids are suspended in columns called granum. Photosystems, which are proteins contained in the thylakoid's membrane, sites and special pigment. Chlorophyll. But what is chlorophyll? In 1950, Richard Martin Willstater researched the pigments of different plant types, discovering that all species have a pigment common, called chlorophyll, in a pure form. Its electrons jumps to an excited state, being released, after which are covered by electrons from water molecule obtained in hydrolyzation. Here, in photosystems, the electrons released by chlorophyll are catched by an electron transporter, NADP+, converted into NADPH, which transferred from photosystem 2 to photosystem 1, allowing the activation of ADP synthase. To be sure, generate ADP. So, light reactions are summarized in this following equation. Requires sunlight, water, among reactants, and generating oxygen ADP and ADPH as products, which these products then are used in the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle, which occurs in the stroma, unlike Krebs cycle, which is catabolic, Calvin cycle is anabolic, converting inorganic matter to organic, requiring energy, making cellular respiration to do so. In 1961, Melvin Calvin researched about the assimilation of carbon in plants, introducing carbon-14, a radioactive isotope of carbon, into an algae, in order to know the pathway of the carbon. The results obtained shows carbon transform carbohydrates during light-independent reactions in the plant. The carbon fixation begins when the atmospheric CO2 enters in the stomatas pores of the plant located in the leaves. Those ones open to receive the atmospheric CO2, releasing at the time water, after which it is catched and catalyzed by enzyme to attach and be able to mix with ADP and ADPH, make as a byproduct glucose. Let's talk about mangroves. The mangroves are located in the tropical coast, establishing adaptations to live in extreme conditions, such as anoxic ground and salty water. Currently, the climate change influences sub-factors like precipitation, temperature, and atmospheric CO2 concentration. As the first factor, precipitation, with a low rain and high precipitation, increase the salinity of the water, which reduces mangroves growing, making them an extra force different from the osmosis, allowing the salty water flow into the plant. The xylem, which is in charge to flow water and minerals from the roots to the top of the plant. Second factor, temperature. The high humidity maintain the stomatas open, allow the constant entrance of CO2, increasing the floration and the fruit productions. As the third factor, the high CO2 concentration. That force the velocity of the photosynthesis, affecting in a negative way the plant because it's not yet prepared. The question is, do plants survive in extreme conditions? In my case, my plant has a low concentration of CO2, which reduces its growth, and the water absence generates to the leaves turn yellow and dry, because there is not enough water to transport minerals and nutrients to keep alive the plant.
So, to summarize, photosynthesis occurs in two stages. The light reactions, where the water comes in and the oxygen comes out, as well ADP and NADPH, where are used in Calvin cycle, where the CO2 comes in and the organic products such as sugars comes out. In that way, we can say that the photosynthesis is almost the same to the cellular respiration, but in a reversible way. The photosynthesis is where the sugars are built and in the cellular respirations are degraded. And that's how plants create its own food. Thank you.